in the law, it mandated that the commission
Good evening. It's Thursday, February 16, 2023, and it is 5:44 p.m. This is the Guam Election Commission regular meeting being held at the GEC Conference Room, Oka Building, Tamuning, Guam. For meeting live stream, visit GEC's website at https://gec.guam.gov/board. This meeting is now called to order. We have a quorum present. Myself, Alice Tyron, Chairperson, Vice Chairperson Jerry Crisostomo, Commissioner Antonia Tony Gumatata, Commissioner Benny A. Pinala, and Commissioner Joseph P. Mofnis. Excused absence, Commissioner Carissa E. Pangilinan and Commissioner G. Patrick Seville. Also present, we have Legal Counsel Vincent Camacho and our Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. Certification of public notice requirements.
Published in the Daily Post on February 9th and February 13th, ma'am.
And on the website, the GEC website?
And GovGuam's website.
Okay, thank you. So let's just make an indication of that for our next meeting, that it was also posted, just where it was posted, right? Okay, thank you. All right, so before the commissioners, we have an agenda that's indicating they're amended. The reason being is in our previous meeting, we had already had an agenda, but we adjourned until today, correct, Maria? And the minute or the agenda was amended to include legal counsel's report, right? Okay, so can we get an approval of the agenda?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda by Commissioner Pinala, seconded by Commissioner Gumatata. All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, right? The motion carries. Agenda is approved. We have the approval of minutes from December 15th, 2022, our regular board meeting. Do we need some time to review it? Or would we like to move to approve?
I move we approve the minute subject for correction.
Second.
All right. Motion to approve the minutes of December 15th, 2022, regular meeting for the Guam Election Commission. Motion made by Commissioner Mofnis, seconded by Commissioner Benny Pinala. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right. The minutes have been approved. Item 5, Maria, correspondence.
Ma'am, we will discuss the Attorney General's notice. Legal counsel will discuss it with in Section 9. But the second correspondence was the award letter that's on page 9, saying that we were awarded $200,000 from the Election Assistance Commission for fiscal year 2023.
Now, do we have any questions for Maria regarding this award? Do we have to submit a plan for this, Maria, with regard to our use?
Yes.
Have we submitted a plan?
No, because we can't, we're waiting for U.S. Election Assistance Commission to clear the little glitch, not little, with Sam,
So if I recall correctly, we had this discussion several meetings ago. Can we write a letter asking
We
them
did.
to clarify and move forward? What can we do to?
Okay, so the last correspondence we sent right before I left, and they asked us to send them some documents, and we did.
You send them the documents?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Did we have any questions for Maria regarding this issue? Is this the same 200,000 or is this in addition to?
Addition. The first 200 was for 22, the second one is 24, and it's still in holding. Both of them are still in holding.
Both of them are still,
Their U.S. election, it's still due to us, and that we still can get it.
We just need to correct the
yes.
SAMs.
In fact, they're asking me about 286,000 from, I think, fiscal year 10 or 11, that's still there. But the reason we never applied for it is because there's one section in HAVA that we're not compliant with, and so, which is that we should have universal access for persons with disabilities at every precinct. So I think back then, when I first came on, we discussed it, and it was a matter of buying equipment and the storing of the equipment. So at that time, it was not something that the commission would want to implement.
will these funds help us to become compliant?
The 286,000, yes, but then we will have additional cost over the years called storage, because we would have to buy at least 67 of those Universal Express votes.
67?
67 precincts. Yeah,
Some precincts are more than,
yeah.
So, okay. Can you discuss with the team so we may have 67 precincts, but within each precinct, within a site, all the precincts are in one site?
We had discussed that with Election Assistance Commission back in 2014, and they looked at HAVA and it said precinct. But we can go back because if you remember, Commissioner McCormick came by and we made her tour, but at that time she said, it's pretty clear that it's precinct. They have a new legal counsel, we can check.
Okay.
And remember, it would be the only equipment that we can use right now to satisfy this requirement is the express vote that we had issues with.
Okay. Well, if you can just get on top of that so we can work towards being compliant.
I'll report to you next meeting.
Yeah. Find out if there's a workaround, right? Given our unique circumstances. Okay. Do we have any questions for Commissioner, Executive Director? Okay. All right. Item 6, Executive Director's Report.
Okay, so Madam Chair, we will be canceling our voters that didn't come out in 2020 and 2022, over 11,000 of them.
So for clarification purposes, public edification, when we say we are canceling non-voting registrants, the reason we are canceling is they did not vote in 2 consecutive general elections, right?
Correct.
So that would be the general election in 2020 and the general election in 2022.
I'm sorry? Yeah, and also the runoff that we had. In
Previously.
2020.
So that's 3.
Either they could have voted in the general election of 2020 or the runoff. So if they didn't vote in,
Okay.
yeah,
And either that's kind of, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't vote. Okay. All right, so, and that's by law. And we will be publishing that in the newspaper?
we already did.
You did?
Yeah, we published the notice of intent to purge.
And it's, a member of a public needs to do is come in and re-register.
Correct. Yes. And we also already sent a letter, which was required, to these voters, the 11,000, that says we intend to purge. Then we have to send them another letter that says you are purged. And that's a lot of money, by the way.
I understand, but, we don't write the law. And that's in the law.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so, okay. Do we have any questions for?
Yeah, I had a question. I know that I saw the voter numbers at 61,000, so that's going to be minus 11,000,
Oh,
right?
yes.
We haven't purged yet.
No.
Yeah. Have you received any, since you mailed the letters out, have we received any non-delivered
Yes.
letters back?
Yes. And did we start receiving the non-delivery of the ones we sent, not that we're going to intend to purge? Oh, I'm sorry, sir, not yet. Yes, and so did we get any back yet? Return them? Oh, yes, we did. We got some already.
How is that handled?
We keep, we just track them, but we can generate a list, but we know that it's going to be in the thousands again,
The return, yeah.
the return.
But their names have been published already?
Yes.
Through the, okay. I mean, I don't know how you would
That would count
identify.
as notification, right? If we've published their names and they didn't receive the letter,
Say it again, ma'am?
that would count, I apologize, as having been notified?
Yes.
Because even though
Yeah.
the mail came back, it's been
Yes.
published, right?
And so we have it so that when it's sent out, we go and we look at the post office national change of address, or whether it's a legitimate address before we send them out.
We don't toss those letters, right? Do we put it in their file folder?
No, that's going to be too bulky. So
Okay.
we keep them in a box.
Madam Chair, I got a question. Maria, are we able to determine or, have some sort of idea between the organic registered voters and those that came from motor voter?
We did. It's in front of you right now.
So we know that this 11,000 folks that we're purging, we know the numbers?
Oh, no, not that. What you do have in front of you is what you do have in front of you is the voters that voted in the general election. Okay, with that, where they come from, 2020, and I think we can. If it's
Okay.
2020 and 2022, I think we can, because we've already gotten some data from both lists.
The reason I bring it up is because, we had such an increase of registered voters this time for this election, 60,000 plus, and, we had a very low voter turnout.
Okay, most of them came from DMV, the new registrants.
Okay.
And if you look at what we placed before you, it's going to show that we had the lowest voter turnout from the motor voter registrants.
Thank you.
And Maria, that could also be that these individuals that were registered through DMV didn't even know they were registered, right?
Not even possibly, I think probably.
Probably, the probability
Yeah.
is high, yeah.
And on that application, it's in red, right? So, okay, all right. Do we have any other questions regarding this issue for our executive director? Thank you, Maria. Timeline?
Yes, so the date for purging is February 27th, so that's coming up. And so what happens is we also send them a letter then, and then our voter registry system will have the 60,000 minus the 11,000 come February 27th.
50,000.
Do you have any questions for Commissioner? Executive Director Maria?
Yeah,
Been up since 1:30. All right.
so we have on page 13 we added 443 new voters. That's our voter by precinct, and again, most of them come from DMV.
Any questions for Maria? Maria, you can continue.
Okay, so if you notice, I wanted to bring to your attention that we added 433 from DMV, 2 from online voter registration. So, and know that we've also subtracted for the deaths. We do get the death list every 15th of the month. With regard to our monthly final financial report, that starts on page 16. We're doing okay, and we submitted a report back in December. I'm sorry, I don't have it here, but we'll put it in our next meeting packet. And letter F, we're now down to letter F. Madam Chair, we want the rest of the commission to know that the Campaign Finance Committee met?
Yes.
Okay, and it goes down into the new business, but here for letter F and section 6, we have the issue of the Guam Federation of Teachers. They have the Committee on Political Education. We wrote a letter back to them. We wrote a letter back in the 2018 election, and they were still publishing ads endorsing candidates even in 2022.
Do we have copies of those ads? Did you guys cut 'em out?
we can get them.
Oh, no, just for record purposes, right?
Yeah,
Just as- okay.
yeah.
Okay, so are you asking the commissioners?
The law says that they can be fined. Okay, Gaigigi, it's in the law. How much to fine them.
There's a schedule.
It says something up to, I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It doesn't have we don't have a schedule.
So we cannot fine?
So not for that, not for this.
But going forward, we're looking at,
We need to
put a schedule together.
create a schedule.
Yeah. So down in Roman numeral 8, we're going to discuss the updates and for the law and the GAR.
All right, so at this point, with regard to the Guam Federation of Teachers, is there any action that you need the commissioners to take?
Not at this time, ma'am. I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that that was happening.
Legal counsel, do we need to send them another letter reminding them of Guam law? We did?
Did they respond?
We sent them this, I think they changed hands, the employee or something. We sent them a copy of this letter. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's I'm seeing a letter here from
2018.
2018.
Yeah. So what we did was the person that was inquiring about what we were talking about did not see this letter. So we sent, we talked with legal counsel, we sent him the letter again.
Okay. Do we have any questions? No? All right. Where are we at? Item G, Office of the Inspector General.
So that's going on. We're at a stage where they're reviewing what we submitted. We had a second set of submission. They came back and asked us questions on Tuesday or Wednesday, so we're working on answering those questions.
Right. Any questions from Maria? Okay, Maria.
Next item, ma'am, the annual report on how many FOIA requests we received is on page 25. So that's due every February 1st.
Okay. Any questions? Old business?
So on the general election item before you, the single sheet, we have a report on the voter statistics by registration method. The first set of numbers indicates how many voters were added for 2020 and 2022 elections. So in 2020, we added 10,749 voters. In 2022, we added 14,673 voters. Then, and we broke it down by how they registered. Okay. In the third set, where it's used only one registration method as of 2022 general election, the first two sets of numbers, a voter could have registered through AOR or DMV or both. So we wanted it to show how the voters or the registrants that only registered through only registered one way.
The numbers take into account duplications, right?
Yes, but really it could be that, let me see how it works. They could have registered through DMV, through an AOR, and they could have re-registered through online.
Now, there's no law that speaks to them. Could this be interpreted as voter fraud?
Oh,
Registering twice, hoping to be able to go, no? Okay.
no. If they come in through DMV and they set up that they want to register,
Yeah.
we will check in the system And all we do is if they needed to be updated, like their village change, that's what we'll do.
Okay. Did commissioners have any questions?
I think what the Commissioner Pat was, and Commissioner Kin Paris was alluding to is how many of the actual voters came from DMV. And the numbers really show.
Those would be the ones that actually registered through DMV
And
and
voted.
voted. Yeah.
That's column or the box, first box, second column, right?
Yeah.
Voted, so. 22%.
18%.
I'm seeing 22.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Wow, all right. Any questions, further discussion? Maria, anything else on that?
No, yes, I'm done with that.
Okay. Fiscal year 2024 budget.
So it went into BBMR and then it went into the Senator Josen Augustin before January 31st. We haven't heard anything about budget hearings yet.
All right. Any questions on the budget? Executive directors, the performance evaluation, that's a due? I feel like we just did this yesterday.
Yeah, did we just do this?
No, it's due annually.
All right, so can you give us some time with this, Maria?
Sure.
I know there's a law that states we have to finish this by April, or,
Well, actually, it's annually, so the last time we did it was in December. But it took us a long time to rectify the actual pay adjustment.
but
So-
we won't have that kind of issue now,
No,
right?
not
Yeah.
according, Our legal counsel straightened it out.
You want to table this until next,
Next,
Madam Chair, I'd like to move a motion to table this
till the next meeting?
till next meeting.
Okay, is that okay?
When all commissioners are here.
Yeah, when all the commissioners are here, and then
Yes.
make available, guideline,
huh?
or your self-evaluation, an updated self-evaluation?
Yeah, and then
the
normally you
commissioners?
guys would take it up based on
Yeah.
that.
So we make it available to us, and then we can review it, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The next item is, ma'am, is the update on the, both Chapter 17 of Title III, which is our law, and the Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations. So those have been previously submitted, I believe, as far back as 2018. I'd like to ask the commission that we have looked at it again, the staff have looked at it again, the Campaign Finance Committee has looked at it again. I'd like to ask the commission to approve us sending it forward, of course, with legal counsel finalizing it, so we can send it through to our oversight chair. It does include a schedule of fines.
Okay, good. But I do apologize. We had a motion on the floor.
Oh,
Memory lapsed. We need to take action. Legal counsel, is that okay that we go back to this motion? So the motion was to table the executive director's discussion on her evaluation until our next meeting. A motion made by Commissioner Pinella. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moffness. All those in favor? No discussion. Ayes have it. Thank you, Maria. My apologies.
okay, so do you want me to tell you again what I want?
You're on a roll.
Okay, so it's, I'd like to be able to submit to the legislature, to our oversight chair, just Chapter 17 by itself of the code, and to start the AAA process on the Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations. GAR includes the schedule of fees, We've used Hawaii as our templates all the way back since 2018, with regard to the fees.
So you provided it here, correct? This is what we want to submit to the legislature. Legal counsel has reviewed this? No?
He- Back then, yeah.
Okay, so then maybe we can have legal
Yes.
counsel take a look at it and give the commissioners a little more time to review it. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of this also comes from our experiences and after discussions from our elections,
Yeah.
right? So,
So ma'am, my concern would be not to submit it early enough before the deadline for the e-car, because they get overwhelmed when we submit the updates for the whole code that we normally do for June 30th of every odd year.
so when would you like this submitted?
Maybe after the next meeting is good.
Which would be, we're in February, so March. So we can take it up,
March,
okay.
yeah.
Make it just, I put it under old business,
Yes.
right? Okay. And that'll give us some time to review what's in the packet and make any, if we have any suggestions or questions, we can email both you and
Legal counsel.
legal counsel, so you're both
Or
aware,
you can call and I can,
right?
let me know.
Just make
about
sure that
changes.
Commissioner Seville and
Yes.
Commissioner Pangilinan are aware.
Okay.
So we will put this on old business, allow the commissioners and legal counsel to review the information, and then we can take it up for discussion. Any thoughts, questions, or anything like that, we'll just email legal counsel under Maria. Okay? And then you can bring that before the commissioners at our next meeting in March.
Maybe, Maria, I know the proposed changes are here, but for the next meeting, we can just summarize in one sheet
What you, yeah. We'll do that.
what the proposed changes, other than the fines, because they're all here, but the language changes of what we're amending,
Yeah,
so that we don't have to,
sure.
yeah.
With regard to the fines, is this from, are we following Hawaii's fines? How did we come about with it? How did we come-
Yes, from 2018. Anna looked at it again one more time and just double checked whether their fines were updated, but
I was
it
just say,
seemed,
did they increase their fines?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that. All right. Do we have any other questions, Maria?
no.
We're good? All right. So we'll pick this up at our next meeting. Again. Where am I at? All right. That concludes our new business, old business, new business report. We have legal counsel.
Yes, so on February 1st, we were served, my office was served on your behalf, what is known now as Civil Case 90-00013 in the District Court of Guam. It's the Guam Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, Guam Nurses Association as plaintiffs versus the Attorney General Doug Moylan, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, Director Art San Augustine, Executive Administrator Lillian Posadas of GMH, and all 7 of you as commissioners of the Guam Election Commission in your individual capacities as commissioners. The gist of this is, as you know, back in 1990, Guam passed a law basically outlawing abortion. And the plaintiffs back then in 1990 filed a lawsuit requesting the court to enjoin the implementation or the enforcement of the law. And the injunction was granted, finding that due to Roe v. Wade, the law violated the Constitution and therefore was not enforceable. And so the court placed an injunction. As you know, recently, last year, the Supreme Court in the case basically threw back and said the abortion is not Roe v. Wade. They overturned Roe v. Wade and basically pushed the decisions in terms of abortion onto the individual states and jurisdictions in Guam, such as Guam. And so what this the resurrection of this lawsuit is the Attorney General filing a motion to vacate the permanent injunction issued back in 1990, enjoining the enforcement of the law. You are joined into this lawsuit because part of the law required the Guam Election Commission to conduct a referendum at the general election in 1990. And so you are a party because of that part of the law. If the injunction is lifted, again, you will be responsible for conducting a referendum pursuant to the statute. And the statute's pretty clear as to what the question's going to be. And so that's why you guys are part of the lawsuit. The question now is do you want me to represent you in your individual capacities as commissioners? I need your authorization to do that in order for me to file a notice of entry of appearance on your behalf, because until such time I get your authorization, we haven't been participating in the actual litigation. I don't foresee us really getting engaged in the litigation because in reality it's just if they lift the injunction, we don't have a choice, right? So it's not like Guam Election Commission has a choice. It's if they don't lift it, we don't do anything. If they do lift it, we have to have the election.
I have a question,
Sure.
Attorney. So this was in 1990. I don't think any of us were in the commission in 1990, but they're still suing us?
Well, because the way the rules are designed, and there's still discussion amongst the other parties, is to whether the individuals in those roles, such as Art St. Augustine, Lillian Posadas, and you guys, because you're in the role now in your capacity as either commissioners or directors of those agencies that were sued, they're just sort of substituting the names.
And then also, they're suing us in our individual capacity
As commissioners.
as
right.
commissioners, okay.
Individual capacities in your capacity as a
commissioner.
commissioner, yeah.
Okay. Do you need a motion for this, or?
Well, this is what's sort of different in this case is because it's done individually. So I need an individual consent for each of you for me to represent. So like today, I cannot get Commissioner Pangilinan and Commissioner Seville, so I will have to get that later on. But I would need your consent today to enter an appearance on your behalf. You five.
Okay. You don't need a motion or anything, right?
No,
Right.
because it's an individual.
All right. I
Madam,
give you my consent.
Madam Chair, I like to propose my consent or give my consent for legal counsel to provide representation in this particular case.
Likewise.
So at least for the five of us, and then we just follow up with Commissioner Pangilinan. I'm almost sure she will.
You want to add Maria? No, just kidding.
Okay, Vince, I'm just tired of getting sued.
Yeah, we almost got away with it this year.
Yeah, sue the commissioners back then. All right, did you need anything else from us with regard to this?
Not with regard to this. So just so you know, as an update, the governor's office did file a motion for abstention, which basically is asking the district court to abstain from proceeding in the case at this point in time until such time that the Guam Supreme Court issues a decision, because the governor did file in the Supreme Court of Guam asking the Supreme Court a question on how to proceed with the implementation or non-implementation of the law. So,
And really, the commission, as you mentioned earlier, is should the injunction remain in effect, there isn't anything we can do.
right.
And should the injunction be lifted, then we follow the law. That's it.
Correct.
We hold a referendum.
I mean, unless you guys want to actively engage in the litigation, which I don't think you do.
No,
Yeah.
please represent us. We will follow the law. Just keep us out of jail. Please. All right.
Okay, so we will file the notice of entry of appearance on your behalfs.
Yes. All right. Do we have any, let me see. That's it for legal counsel's report. Any questions for legal counsel? All right, moving on to public comment. No public comment? All right, our next meeting.
The third Thursday of March is March 16th.
Okay. All right. March 16th at 5:30? Okay. So, if there aren't any more further discussion, no other questions for executive director or legal counsel, can I get a motion to adjourn until Thursday, March 16th at 5:30 PM? All right? Motion to adjourn this regular meeting of the Guam Election Commission until March 16th, 2023, 5:30 PM, to be held here at the GC Conference Room, Oka Building, Tamuning, Guam, has been made by Commissioner Gumatata. Do I get a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Moffness. All those in favor? All right. The motion carries, and we are adjourned until March 16th, Thursday, March 16th, 2023 at 5:30.